Returning for game with Cowboy might not be a thing anymore, and you might not even get penalized for burning yourself, or maybe you're getting heavily penalized for burning yourself. But anyways, hey guys, it's Tombox, and time rules have just changed again. And this time it's listed in the North American Regionals FAQ. I know some of you guys have already been talking about this. I want to create a little space for us to kind of talk about it as well. But I feel like just reading it brings up a lot of questions. As of right now, I don't think the document has been updated to match this yet. And this apparently is for the North American Regionals. I'm not sure if it's for Tier 2, but let's get a quick read on this. So, wow, and Jesse Cotton apparently gets free regional entries, but he doesn't get free packs. Okay, that's cool. So it's down here. Two questions below. What happens if I'm not done with my match after 50 minutes? Okay, if the match does not finish within 50 minutes, the result will be a double loss. Keyword here being result and double loss, okay? And when time ends in the round, the match is over. Neither duelist may begin or continue any action that take place in the game, okay? And if time expires and the match is not finished, it will be a double loss. A match is considered finished when one of the duelists has either won 2 duels or lost 2 duels. That is something that I want clarification on. I'll get back to that in a second. And if a duelist has completed 3 duels without finishing the match, and there's 1 point apiece, and then there's a draw, then the remaining time, or if there is remaining time in the round, the duelist will go into a 4th duel. That was pretty common. I think that was brought up during one of the YCSs. And if a duelist has won 1 duel, and the match has not concluded after 50 minutes. Oh, so I won 1, and then we don't finish. What happens? Well, both players receive a double loss. Wow, that seems pretty strict, considering that you're not getting turns anymore. There is no finish the phase. There is no finish the turn. There is nothing like that right now based on this. And I'm taking an assumption right here that this is just for Swiss rounds, because regionals do not have a top cut. At least the main event doesn't have a top cut. So I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I kind of want to bring up and kind of ask you guys. But just as a quick little disclaimer, guys, anything I want to talk about are just my thoughts on this. Nothing is confirmed unless it's, coming from Konami directly. And if you guys have any questions, always ask the TO or the head judge at the event you're attending to see what applies. Okay, so, disclaimer done. Let's break it down. Let's take a look at some of these changes. I kind of wrote it out on my phone because I want to kind of bring up the discussion as quickly as possible. Number 1, so the matches, based on what they're saying here, this is implied that it is now 50 minutes rather than 45. So an extra 5 minutes, so you get like 16.6 minutes to finish each game. If you want the average game time should be 16.6. But some decks just take so long to combo. Anyway, it doesn't even really matter, because if they're going to combo for 15 minutes, they're going to combo for 15 minutes. And, I mean, we're going to ask the why. The why, there's a lot of reasons why something like this can happen, and maybe it's to deal with like people burning in time. Maybe certain decks just naturally have disadvantages or advantages, and they're trying to wipe that slate clean. It does sound like that's the approach towards what's good for the players. Logistically, there's probably some reasons behind it too, because maybe even with the one phase, people are still taking like 20 minutes to get that one phase done because they want to create some burn combo at the end. I get that. Okay, so the next part is it's a result of a double loss. I kind of want clarification on this. So how I'm interpreting this is that it is a double match loss for both players. No one gets any points if you play into time. It seems a bit strict. Or is this a result of a double game loss? Because it's stated here within its own bullets, a match is considered finished when one of the duelists has either won 2 duels or lost 2 duels. If both players receive a double loss, that means if someone has 1 point, so if a duelist has won 1 point and the match has not concluded after 50 minutes, both players will receive a double loss. Is that a double game loss, or is it like both players lose? Like the wording here is a little bit confusing. I kind of wish for a little more clarity. And if time expires in the match and it has not finished, it will be a double loss. Double loss, I guess when we issue rulings and penalties, to me, it means double game loss, because it's a more common thing that occurs when you upgrade one person's penalty and then you give someone a major infraction, which would result one person getting an upgrade, taking the first L, and then the person that's more at fault receives an L for the major, and so that would result in a double loss. So this, if it's a double match loss, it is a little bit more different. And it even says here, if a person has won one duel and the match has not concluded after 50 minutes, both duelists will receive a double loss. So is that like 1 win, 2 losses, and the other guy gets 2 losses? And then based on the third bullet, the match is considered finished when one of the duelists has either won 2 duels or lost 2 duels. But both players lost 2 duels. Do you consider that 1 point to even matter? Are you tallying results? Because there's no point on here that mentions about point tallying at all. It just says that people just lose. So if the point does not matter, even if you won game 1, you don't have a clear winner, there is no winner. Is that what they're going for? It's because that's what it sounds like, and therefore no one can really abuse the draw system. They're really just kind of killing draws entirely with this thing, which is kind of cool. I mean, it kind of reminds you a little bit like of the best of 2 in Lorcana, because if you don't finish your game, it doesn't matter who's ahead in lore, it doesn't matter who's ahead in points. The game's finished, it's a draw. It doesn't matter. You don't get anything out of it. And then it also lowers the other guy's points because it's not 2-0, so that it counts as like a 1 win and 1 loss kind of deal, and you don't get maximum points. Okay. And then here's the next point that I kind of want to talk about. So when the time ends in the round, the match is over. Neither duelist may begin or continue any action that may take place in the game. I like to interpret this as you can't play cards, you can't resolve effects, but I don't think that stops you from conceding the game to your opponent. I'm not too sure. This is a very gray area. This is a part that I would ask a head judge or a TO for specifics regarding this, because that is very unclear. Because it's going to cause the tables next to you to police your end of phase procedure. What if they don't want to deal with you anymore? Like, oh man, that's my next opponent. Oh, this guy's giving him the win. He's changing the outcome of the match. And we know that changing the outcome of a match is completely against the rules. It is under UC cheating, colluding, I believe. Something close to that, like changing the match. There's something in there that is in a disqualification level infraction. And so that needs to be clarified, because that is something that is too severe. People don't want to accidentally do something. Or like, oh, I just want to give you the win because you have the 1 point anyway, and there's no way I can win. I mean, sure, you can definitely surrender within those 50 minutes, but if you don't surrender in time, does that mean that you lose your opportunity to surrender? I don't think those are actions that take place in the game, so that's why I think it's okay. But then it also goes against policy, because based off of this, when the time expires, both players receive a double loss. And if they're receiving like a double match loss, you can't change the results of the match, because you'd be giving someone the win when you can't. It's like you attack someone for a game and be like, you know what, I'm scooping, I gotta leave anyway, but they already went to 0 life points. You can't change that. And therefore, this creates a contradiction in there that I do believe should get clarification. Otherwise, people might accidentally stumble into a bad situation where they're getting DQ'd because they want to give someone the win, and they might get even accidentally policed by the guys next to them. Like, hey, time was already called. They tried to give each other the win. That can't happen. They're changing the results of the match. So I just want to ensure the game is completely fair. Well, this is kind of a level of policy. I mean, whoever that does that, clearly, I'll probably consider him a bit of a rat for doing it. But at the same time, he could also be just correct. So you can't really blame him if he's correct. Oh, you probably could, but I don't know. It's a very gray area, okay? And so, to me, does this apply to Top Cut? I don't think this applies to Top Cut. I feel like this is only for the Swiss round. And at the moment, I think it's only for the North American regionals. Eventually, maybe it'll apply. Maybe this is a testing phase. I am not too sure. But you know how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like made up of like mini games? Like there's the Max C mini game. You start the game, and you got the Max C mini game, where, oh, they got Maxi, they got Mulcharmy, you can't do anything, you have to skip your turn. Of course, there's a similar mini game at the end of turn or end of phase. Do you have the Burn for Game mini game? Oh, do they have Cowboy? I guess in the upcoming 4, do you have Heavy Borger for game and then flip Vanquishal Snow Devil, Burn for game, just push that life points as far as possible? Or you side in like Ghost Sister Spooky Dogwood. Oh, I guess you special summon, I win the game. Like, lots of these aspects are thrown into current deck building that you always consider like, oh, I better side that cowboy. I got 4 minutes. Cowboy for game is my only option. I'm going to have to side in so I can actually take the W here. And that's something that I think has gone into like a lot of like recent decks and designs, because like they also design decks around policy, like, oh, make sure that if the people are comboing super heavy, there's like some sort of life-changing effect in there. That's what it feels like lately, that, oh, you have to pay life points, like Malice, you have to pay life points to keep on comboing, which is like, people felt that it was a very fair thing, but that's also just based off of the policy of it, right? Like, you know, it's just additional like policy advantage that you get for playing a certain style of deck, and I feel like they're just trying to remove that entirely, right? I is it like inherently good or bad? I think it's actually good that they're trying to like not have burn for game as a thing, so taking that out entirely so that people don't feel so pressured like for their deck choice, like, oh, I'm not a quick player, I can't play these decks that have life point changes in there. But people should be playing faster anyway. I mean, logistically, if like the venue goes over time, it just costs the TO more money, and they have to pay for like overage fees. Maybe they have some sort of thing written in their contract. I'm not too sure. What else do I have written here? Yeah, deck building around the policy. And again, it puts it back in the player's hand to like want to scoop. It feels like if you're down a game and then you barely got any chance to play, maybe you don't like that your opponent played too slow, you're like, I just want to play out my turn and I want to see if I can win. And well, clearly you can't win. You're just intentionally stalling to give us both a double loss. Like, there's going to be some level of toxicity that comes up at this point from bitter players. And it's the players' right to play out their games. They don't have to choose to surrender. It's not their right to surrender to you just because you won one game and there's not enough time to finish. So there's going to be arguments between players that's going to come up from this if this isn't clear on how it's going to be. I think it's only going to be for the first couple of events. There are going to be some bitter players no matter what, and to some point you just have to accept that, hey, I'm going to take a double loss no matter what because we took too long. It also makes people's scooping decision a little bit quicker. Like, I don't need to see how you combo and finish. I don't need to see all of your decks, because like, I look at my hand, I've got like all starters and you've built your full board. You can like 7 negate my 5 card hand. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be able to play through it. Then you would just scoop and buy yourself more time. So the scooping and the surrendering is now a little bit more strategic based on that. I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah, people choosing to just burn out, like, you know, crash and burn both players together, that might be a thing if this stuff isn't really fully clarified. I really want to know if there's some sort of point tally at the end. That's what I'm missing. And I think people are going to be pretty upset when people keep on saying thinking or doing dead combos. Like, I call dead comboing is like when someone just executes their combo just to burn the rest of the time, and then they just switch into like a burn combo. So dead comboing, that probably won't be a thing anymore. At least it shouldn't be a thing, because that's just a pretty nasty way to play. I don't know. What do you guys prefer? Like, are there parts of it that you guys accept? Do you prefer that, oh, if I won one game, maybe that point should still matter because I chose to grind it out? And like, if it's a double loss, it's a double loss. There's no draw because they're no longer it doesn't seem like they're considering life points anymore at the end of match here, which honestly makes a lot of sense because they're trying to get rid of the whole burn for game mechanic, and that also affects the deck building aspect of the game as well. I want to know what you guys think. Which parts are kind of cool? Which parts are not cool? Is this terrible for everyone? Like, what do you think it's going to be abused? Leave it down in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts regarding this. And yeah, what would be your preferred change? I think this is like the third time rule has changed. The first original time rule, 40 minutes, and there's like the whole 5-turn rule. And then now we have the 45 minutes end of phase rule. And now it seems like we're getting the 50 minutes, no additional stuff rule, no additional action rule, but maybe we should clarify what it constitutes as an action, and what about that contradictory thing about the results can't be altered? Because if we want to read this as strict as possible, that means people take the L. There's going to be a lot of messed up tournament records. Hey, maybe you actually don't bubble up because there's more people that have losses than you think. No one's going to have that crazy undefeated record. Who knows? That's all I have for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. Please leave a comment down in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear the opinions of the people that are playing this game. What do they think about this change? Is it good? Is it bad? Do you think it's fair? Do you think the intention is good? Let me know down in the comment section. But yeah, also, one more thing. there's going to be a drop from Imperium Duelist X MST.TV. There's going to be a new mat, the Champions Aura Paris Edition. Check it out, guys. It's a beautiful mat, a zone mat that I designed. These are always going to be timeless, and I love the timeless motif that you can just use this mat forever. And it's been a couple of years since I've dropped one of these, so check it out. This is not an MST merch. It is going to be an Imperium Duelist. It's going to be a very limited quantity, so August 1st is the date. I'm just announcing it now, but the drop date is August 1st. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing your comments.